Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel today. I'm a little less perky because this week is the week of Pinky Traders. This happened today when I was getting off of work. Thank goodness it broke right just after the extension, unfortunately. So only a little bit of my nail is left, but it's alright. At least it didn't hurt. But unfortunately, this one is on its way out. As you can see, I bent the pinky. This is the longest my nails have been in quite a while, and I had a particularly difficult customer today, and it just, as you see, didn't hold up. Unfortunately, it's also breaking up into the bed of my nail. So I'm going to show you guys today in this video how I take care of breaks, and I do extensions and just little things like that. So unfortunately, because this nail is broken past here, there's no way to save the actual length of the nail. Unfortunately, there's also another break, as you can see on this side. And as you can see, there's a little bit of gel underneath the nail. I was trying to actually save the nail, and it worked for a good month because this break originally was up here where this other one is now. Unfortunately, because I like my I have to do overlays because my nails are so thin. Unfortunately, my nails are really curved, as you can see. I've got a really nice natural curve to my nail, so they look ugly if I have a whole bunch of gel on them. So I just use a little bit instead of a whole bunch, and then this is what ends up happening. So unfortunately, I'm going to take my little nail snippers here and just gently try to just snip it off at the break. And as you see, it's just kind of coming across the same thing. I'm going to flip it over. You can kind of see the break line. And just, boo. Let's just get this evened out a little bit. I did end up taking 99% of the gel off of this nail, just so I could see what I was working with. Let's just take my file. And I'm not going to file underneath because these... try to turn my nail. My nail is nice and curved, so the more curved it is, the stronger chance I have of that nail holding up to another bad break. So I'm just going to kind of take the rough or sharper edges off this. And we're going to move on. I had previously cleaned my nail with alcohol, and I'm going to go ahead and this is apply my cheap form. This is a super awesome cheap form. I think 500 of these little stamps, these little forms were like $8. Look, I have glitter on everything. I'm just going to take the top here and this little whole piece. I know you can use it for an extension if you want to make them extra long. I, most of the time, don't use it that way. And I'm just going to kind of gently curve this into the circle and pinch the ends together. I still want that little hole, as you can see, because I want this part to match up to the cuticle, underneath the cuticle of my nail. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit together and then a little bit down to kind of, there we go, stick the ends together because it is my pinky. And then I want to, let's see if I don't get this stuck together. Push this down a little bit, widen that area, and slip this underneath the nail, scissor, cuticle. I'm calling it everything but what it is. I'm going to try to see how there's like absolutely, if you can get no separation between your form and underneath the nail. Oh, that is a little painful, but I want to make sure I get it up underneath. Once I do, I'm going to kind of pinch and stick this down to the back of my nail, and then pinch and fold this over to get a really nice hold on the nail. Now, because these aren't super expensive, they don't really stay stuck for too long, especially if you go popping into the light. So I'm going to start with my nail dehydrator, which is step number 1. I use an off-brand that I got a while ago, so it's not like really something to write home about, but I'm out of my good stuff. So I'm going to let that sit on there. You notice how I kind of rubbed it under here. There is going to be some bleeding underneath the nail, and to be perfectly honest, I don't mind because it kind of holds everything really structured because my nails are so thin. I'm going to go in with number 2, which is the primer, acid-free primer, and do the same thing and wrap it around and underneath the sides of the cuticle here. And I will apply a couple of good layers into this and make sure it's nice and squished in. I'm also using the IDB, the LED bonder, which I really, really love. It just seems to kind of stick things together, and I get a lot less lift up. I'm going to apply, which is an awesome, awesome tip I got from a friend, the very littlest, teeniest amount of this bonder. It doesn't work. I don't really want it to look like nail polish when I'm going on. I kind of want to scrub it in because this is what's going to adhere to all those little areas. And I am going to wrap it around the top too, even a little bit underneath the nail and up the sides, because you can take off excess in filing, but I want that grip to be super strong and super firm. I'm going to pop that in my light for just a few seconds. Unfortunately, you guys get the long version of this video again. I promise I have someone, you know who you are, and I'm trying to work to get my videos edited. I'm so not savvy, so I have reached out to good friends for help. If you're staring at this nail, I was trying to show a good friend how to do water marbles, so I just did a little mini flower. That didn't turn out the best, but anyways, it did its purpose. Okay, I'm going to pick up my favorite kind of cuticle-shaped brush. I cannot remember for the life of me where I got this brush, but I got a whole set of them, and they're amazing. It's kind of firm, but a little bit kind of stiff, and I've used it quite a few times, and I clean with alcohol, not the remover, because I find that little bit of stiffness in your brush works to your advantage. So let me just scoot this in focus a little bit. I am going to just get this moved over, gently touch the edge of my clear gel and start building up this little peak, if you can see that. And once you get that little peak, then I kind of scoop and roll back on so that drip comes up to a nice little clear bead. And the faster you do this with the less amount of twirling and spinning, the faster you are going to get that beautiful bead with the least amount of bubbles. So I always want to start on the break line and on the end of this tip. I want to really, really push it down into the sides, get it as close to the nail without touching the skin, if possible, you can get. The good thing about the gel is you can kind of work with it and play with it and kind of build your shape once you get it on the form. So I can kind of turn it to the side and kind of catch that light and make sure that this is covering all the areas that I need protected. Because to be perfectly honest, yes, it looks beautiful because I can extend my nails and make them any length I want, but this is really just to help my the strength of my nails, because I just don't have any natural strength to my nails no matter what I do. And this, I've only started doing gels over the last year or so, like habitually, but they've always been very thin. Make sure to remember, I'm just going to pop that in my light for a couple of seconds and cure. Make sure to remember when you are working with gel, you get everything coated very evenly, and make sure to kind of like turn your nail to the side and look at it from a different angle to see the different angles of your nails, because that's what's important. You remember, you're not the only one that's going to see them, so other people are going to be seeing around your nails. Make sure to cover those edges, because a little bit of nail catching free even on the sides of the cuticle, water's going to get under there, it's going to be a huge mess, fungus, the whole 9 yards. So that's why I like to keep things sterile and keep it very sealed. Now I'm going to take another bead here, a little bit bigger than the first one. I am using a lot because I like to make sure things are coated, and just kind of lay and press that against the cuticle. And then I just kind of take this and pull it down the nail into like a natural shape. And I'm holding my nail a little funky for you guys because I really want to make sure that I turn the nail and get every single little corner. You can kind of play with this a little, so you can kind of get that little extra oomph if you need. It's going to take a little longer. Sometimes I have a really good light, so it kind of heat spikes a little bit. I do find that with especially IBD, excuse me, I always get that wrong, that I will have a bit of a heat spike, so you have to watch out for that. I hate empty silence. So this is why you will just see me talk and talk and talk. Come on, cure. All right. So as you see, if you can see, we've got things kind of built up here. And it is a little thicker than, I'm really trying to get you guys to see it. I don't think you can see that. It is a little thicker than obviously what I'd usually use, but as you can see, it's completely wrapped around the nail. And I really like the length of that because I'm going to cut things down a little. So I am going to gently pull and break this away. Let me just clip this first. I kind of like to try to be a little gentle with the nail, especially because this is the first time in a long time that I've had to do an extension on this finger. So pull it and just kind of gently, if you can, break it away. There we go, to expose that tip. Now underneath it is, as you can see, hopefully you can see, all the way up to and wrapped around and under that nail. It also is a little bit crooked, but so is my finger, so we have to fix that in filing. Let me just, I want to put a little bit more on this. I know this is going to be a ridiculously long video, but if you, which you can't really see, there is a little bump here, and I know that most of that will take taken care of in filing, but you can't see that. I want to really try to make the appearance of this nail as absolutely smooth and flawless as I can. That's another awesome thing about gel, is you can go back and over it again, and it's self-leveling. A good gel should be self-leveling, and you can just play with it and go back over, making sure all these little spots are taken care of. I like to pull it up and away from the sides and look at it from a different angle. All right, and I'm going to snip that back in my light here for just a few seconds. The good thing again about this gel is you can cure like a few seconds in between to make sure things are nice and firm so you don't push it around with your brush. But then you can cure it at the end and it'll get like super, super rock firm. I'm just going to pull this out for you guys in just a second. And here we go. I'm going to give this a little bit of a spritz with alcohol. Clean this off. And you can see that there's a good form shaping. I'm going to just take my lovely favorite file. Sorry about the noise, you guys. And I'm going to run my file up the sides of the nail, looking straight on the nail. Because when people see, they're going to see you straight on, and you see this side looks really crazy and very wonky. So I'm going to look from the side of the nail and file away. I also kind of like to hold it like this. Sorry, I kind of snipped myself at work today a little bit with the scissors, so it's kind of yucky under there, but it's all cleaned and almost healed completely now. But I kind of hold my hands like this so you can see how you're going to perceive your manicure and also how everyone else is going to perceive your manicure. I like to kind of turn it from the side and get a good file on everything. When it's clear, it is so difficult to see how straight and evener this gel is because it's transparent. As you can't really see this, but I really want you to get a good idea. This is a good time to skip ahead about 20 or 30 seconds. I love that little button. It's made my life so much easier. I can even skip ahead in my own videos and see what the heck's going on. All right, so this is pretty decent. I'm going to take a little extra time and file around the edges and make sure things are even and nice. But when I'm not doing this on camera, this is quite a bit faster. But as you see, we're kind of back up. I really need a fill, which is kind of perfect timing because I can just fill everything after we're done with this. But I hope this was a little bit informative to you, a little bit of the process I go through. I know it's just about what everybody else goes through, but I mean, considering before and after, not so bad. A little wide at the tip here, but that's why I made it a little thicker here at the tip. But notice we still have that beautiful curve going on here, and that'll help everything be awesome and solid and workable. Thanks so much, guys. Sorry for the long video.